Perfect, guys. So today is going to be the eighth episode of Chairman Talks. We're bringing it back. We haven't done it for a while, but as you guys know, what I was doing was getting a different chairman, a different 6 or 7 figure earner, someone who's absolutely, mastered the mindset, the skill set, and everything that they, need in order to help you guys elevate and take your guys' business. And in this case, also trading to the next level. Guys, drop a 777 in the chat if you're excited about the guest speaker that we have on tonight. I'm super excited because this is somebody, that, his background was he was an athlete, and for me, I was an athlete as well. And it takes a certain type of mindset to be successful in sports. And it's the same mindset, I believe, to be successful in the space of entrepreneurship as well. This individual, has traveled, spoken in front of tens of thousands of people, somebody who's a chairman 25, as well as an educator. What I noticed is that oftentimes the best traders, the best investors are oftentimes some of the best builders as well. And with that being said, we got Mike Sotero in the building. How are you, bro?
I am good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Super excited, man. We got a decent amount of questions to ask. And I know for a fact that you have, massive value to provide for the team. So appreciate you for taking the time to be here with us, man.
No, I'm excited for this. And I would definitely have a pen and paper because me and Cruiser were both on the other side of these calls. So we're going to do a Q&A. I'm excited for it. It's my favorite type of calls.
100%. Same. Yeah. Now definitely, guys, take notes because you guys are going to get an immense amount of value. I think a great place to start, bro, would be not everybody knows your story, where you're from, what you were doing before this. In fact, I want to know what you were doing before entrepreneurship altogether, man. And that's a great place to start.
Yeah. So I've been in this space since 2013. I was in high school when I got involved in this industry. My goal was to play sports. In 10th grade, I had a knee surgery. In baseball, 10th to 11th grade year is the most important year. So after my senior year of high school, I was already in entrepreneurship. I was already earning, probably about platinum 2000 type of income. I decided not to go out of state to get into some student loans. And I really wanted to focus on my business. I did college for a couple semesters, realized that wasn't for me, and over the past 9 years, I've been involved in a few companies. I Am Master Academy is not my first company. But it was the company that did change my life. I made some money from 18 to 20 years old, more than 6 figures in total, not in 1 year. And at 20, I found myself broke because lack of financial education. So thank God for Jason Brown, Matt Rosa, Alex Morin, because they introduced me to Chris. And I was really skeptical on trading. I was really skeptical on crypto, even though I had some crypto when I met Chris and Isis. But they showed me the vision, and they showed me when you do something and you get involved in something that's bigger than just some money, all the money will come flowing to you. So I've been in this company now for a little bit over 4.5 years. And as an educator, just hit a year.
When exactly did you get started?
August of 2017.
Got you. That's crazy, bro. Because I only got started like about maybe 6 months after that. And I actually flew out to Arizona.
Yeah, I met you guys there.
Yeah, I remember meeting you like very briefly.
Yeah,
that's crazy. We were both just getting started. Like that's absolutely insane. Yeah, man. So I guess a good question that I have is, what out of all the companies in the world, thousands of them, what made you plant your flag with I Am? Was it like the leadership? Was it the products and services? Was it a little bit of everything? Like, what was it that you made that decision where you were like, okay, I'm going all in with this one thing? And yeah, what was it for you, man?
It was the fact that people could make money, right, without having to sell, physical products. That's where I came from, or, sell a service, but the service didn't make you any money. So that was like a big factor in the beginning. But at the end of the day, it's the people running it. You could have the best products, the best services. Everybody could be becoming, billionaires, right? But if the foundation, if the CEOs, if they're not in it for the right reason, that company will disappear, just like we've seen in many, many seasons, and we'll see in the next season of this industry. Every 4 to 6 years in network marketing, there's a like a birth of new entrepreneurs, new success stories, and there's also a birth of new companies. But when something is born, that means something has to die. So some companies won't be here in 4 to 6 years. Just like 4 to 6 years ago, there was a lot of companies that aren't moving today. And that's not to scare you. That is to educate you that you have to be very careful of who's really running the show, who's really running the organization. It's like, same thing for a church or for a traditional business. Who's really pulling the strings? And is that money actually saving people, right? People, or is that money just being donated to the owners of that organization? And that's how they're surviving. So after I met Chris and Isis, I was sold. Alex was already a good friend of mine. I've known Alex Morton since 2013. We were doing events in Miami and people's garages and home events. And we've traveled before this company. But seeing the success of him, but really Jason and Matt, and seeing, because, I was making like 5 times, 6 times more money than them in our first company. So I didn't believe them for a long time. And I saw the success they had. I saw how much they've grown. And when you can get a chance to spend some time with those individuals, you realize why this company is special.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. So when you first came in, were you like, yo, man, I'm going to master the trading? Or were you more like, yo, let me focus on the business? I've already had a business experience and the trading came later on, or how'd that play out?
I mean, I was trading, but my focus was to get to 5,000 a month, because I knew if I could get to platinum 5,000 or that type of income, I could actually make some real money trading. I wasn't trading to make 20 cents a day. I'm just going to be completely honest. I wanted to be able to put, 4 figures in my account. And if I lost that money, which I did multiple times in the beginning, gambling, not trading in the markets, I could just refund it. Now you go back and think, is that the right mindset to have? No, because all of those accounts, if that money just stayed in Bitcoin, right, that would have been a lot of Bitcoin I would have had over that first year when Bitcoin was a couple $1,000s. So I got involved to build the business, to then use that money to then go into trading. And I share this story with my team all the time, and I'll tell you guys, is when I was a chairman 10, I was still driving a Nissan. I still today live way below my means. But I was saving all of that money, like everything. And when was it 2020? When it was like that 2020 crash in crypto, when we went to 4K, kind of like what we're seeing again today, but just higher numbers, I had a lot of money liquid. And I was able to capitalize and put all of that money that I saved, because I hit chairman 10 in 2018. So for 2 years, I was saving that money, waiting with the intention of, I'm waiting for the most amount of fear, and then I'm going to move that money into the markets. And it was crypto, obviously.
Amazing. You're kind of like segueing me into the next question. Is obviously there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear within the markets right now for a lot of people who are uneducated. So what's your take on what's going on within the crypto markets right now? And what is your advice for people to do in situations that we have right now?
Yeah. Wait till Bitcoin hits 100K and then buy. No, I'm just kidding. That's what people are going to do. No, my advice would be, 1, be very careful who you're listening to, because everybody on Twitter, everybody on Facebook, it's so funny that people come out of the woodworks now and saying, I knew it was going to go to 20K. Number 1 is we haven't hit 20K. Number 2 is nobody knows really what they're talking about. Like, even if I say, okay, I think Bitcoin go to 25K, like, it's all speculation. And this is a good word to write down. It's probabilities, right? Life is a game of probabilities. When you get on a plane, the probability of something happening is very, very slim, right? Less than like half and half a point, a percentage of something happening. So yes, you got to get educated. Yes, you got to be careful who you think about, who you listen to, but you have to be able to control your emotions. I'm buying cryptos when there's the most amount of blood, when everybody's thinking that this is going to go to 0, when I'm getting text messages saying what's going on in Bitcoin. That's when I become bullish and I start to accumulate more. Now, if you guys are using Swipecoin, make this very clear. Most of those ideas that we've called out, when they've been called out in the exchange ideas, because I send them out, they've ran 20, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400% in profit. Maybe now they're in drawdown, maybe a couple of them, right? But they've had runs where after 30, 40, 50%, you should be taking out what you've put in. Like, your bank has never paid you a percent in a year. And you just did that in a couple of days, maybe, or a couple of weeks or a couple of months from an idea. So learn from this, what's going on right now, because crypto is not over. It is getting started. There's $1 trillion in this market. We're going to see regulation. We're going to see an ETF, and we have the Bitcoin halving happening May of 2024. So just know in 2 years, every 4 years, Bitcoin is programmable money that has gone up from the beginning of time 13 years ago.
That is some great insight, 100%. There's been a lot of people on the team that have been involved in a lot of those exchange ideas. And a lot of people have an entry strategy, but not everybody has an exit strategy. So with that being said, like as people are like getting involved, what's your general rule of thumb for when it comes to like exiting? I've made X amount of percent. I should pull out this much. Is there a specific number, or what's that look like for you?
Yeah, I can't give a number, right? Because that would be financial advice.
Yeah.
So you got to have a plan. So maybe somebody's plan is, okay, if I buy something and it doubles my investments out, like that's easy. Like that is a no-brainer. If I buy something, if I buy ape at $5, called it out 2 days ago at $5, and then it hit 10, what you put in 2 days ago should have already been out of the market, right? So then now you're floating profits. But now if the market comes back to 5 or 6, which it probably will, now you reallocate that income back in there and play that game again, now with maybe a little bit more money. But have a goal. It's like having, if you're trading Forex, you have a PIP goal. If you're building your portfolio, I would tell you to have maybe even 2 portfolios. One that you're going to maybe day trade that portfolio. You're going to go for 15, 20% gains, and you're going to move into stablecoin. You're going to sell it back to dollars. And then have a portfolio where you just have long-term, right? I have a ledger where I don't even look at this thing. I have a ledger for myself, and I have a ledger for my little brother who I send money to every Friday. And I've been doing that since Christmas. And he's got probably almost 500 ApeCoin. I mean, tons of Ethereum, tons of Bitcoin, because I send him a certain amount of money every week, and we're going to forget about it. He's 9. Like, think about where that's going to be in 9 years.
That's insane. That's crazy.
So just have a couple of different accounts, different portfolios, but it depends. Your tolerance to pain, maybe somebody on this call is going to be a little bit different. I'm playing this game long-term, but maybe, and you should never be investing money that you need. But if you have maybe, let's say $1,000, try to get that 1,000 to 2. Try to get that 2 to 4. This is just a fact. This is not financial advice, but you take $10,000, and if you're able to double it 7 times, you have 1.2 million. So it's a game of doubles.
Perfect. So I want to know what made you like dive into crypto and DCX, because back in 2018, when you and I joined, there was no DCX. So I'm curious, like what made you kind of like get ahead of that trend? And obviously there were people that were having a lot of success in crypto in general, but the vast majority of the company was in, just trading Forex. So yeah, man, what made you kind of dive deep into DCX?
So in 2017, I was on tour in Ecuador in December, right before Christmas, with Matt Rosa, Jason Brown, Ivan Paychex. Paychex was a friend of all of ours, but he wasn't in the company yet. So he's telling us about Bitcoin, and we're like, no, we're not. Like, I had Ripple and I had Litecoin. I didn't have Bitcoin at that time. I had bought that earlier in the year before I joined the company, and I made some money. And I made like 8K, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I just got out of crypto kind of as I joined this company, because I wasn't sure if it was going to last. So Ivan really opened up the doors. Ivan and Picasso, he introduced me to Picasso. They're actually in my organization. So I got a chance to really spend some time with them, work with them. And I saw Picasso talking about how it was following like the SPX and the NASDAQ and gold and all of these things. And I saw him calling out trades for a company that they had called Bits to Freedom, where it was like $1,000 a month. You had to pay it in Bitcoin. It wasn't DCX. And I saw when they shut that down, they brought that to DCX, or they brought DCX to IM, and it was just Swipecoin. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Swipecoin was $100 a month, and there was no education. It was just the app. And eventually, Go Live happened. So I became obsessed, bro, with like Ethereum in 2018, mid 2018. It was, hundreds of dollars. And even back then I understood that Ethereum has more use case than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was first and Bitcoin is limited. So if there's less of something, it's going to cost more. And the second I understood that, I was like, okay, I got to get really deep into crypto, but I also got to be patient because I can't buy at the top. So really, Ivan, bro, Picasso, and then Chris Terry obviously was like, yeah, I got Bitcoin. The company started accepting Bitcoin. And I'm like, wait, hold up. And then I started seeing countries talking about it. And then I saw what got me fired up was when we were in Ecuador, Bitcoin was at $7,000. And that week, if you guys go Google JP Morgan Bitcoin scam, there's an article that they released in December of 2017 when JP Morgan said this is going to crash. And I understand that everything's manipulated, right? So the second they did that, I said, I got to pay attention because now they're buying 100%. They're buying. And now they're worth like billion. They have billions of dollars of Bitcoin. They put 50 million back in 2017. So you do the math.
That's insane. That's crazy. With that being said, man, obviously there's so many different ways to make money within crypto, whether it's investing or day trading or staking or NFTs or whatever. For someone who's like relatively new, what are your, I guess, top ways that you think that they should, which ways would you recommend them to start with first, I guess, is how I want to word that question.
Can I share my screen?
Of course. Yeah. Let me see. Yep. You're good to go.
So I would say right now where the market's at, I would get familiar with your portfolio. So for those that don't know, I just put together a 4-day course. It couldn't come out of a better time that breaks down everything that you need from, certain wallets, how to unbank yourself, DeFi, NFTs, tokenomics in day 2. Day 3, we talk about insurance. This day 3 was more of like a vision call because we haven't seen real estate, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance on the blockchain. I was sharing this story with my team I shared this story during the course that literally I got a letter in the mail like 3 weeks ago saying my license was about to be suspended because somehow my State Farm car insurance got canceled, right? That wouldn't happen. And I didn't cancel it. That wouldn't happen on the blockchain. So imagine I get pulled over, right? Thank God I opened up this letter. I got it when I was in Guatemala and I don't really like mail. And I opened it up on like April 27th and it was like April 28th, you're getting your license suspended. In Florida, if you get pulled over with a suspended license, they could actually take you to jail. Like, wow. What the hell? So think about that. Think about car insurance now on the blockchain where that wouldn't have happened because when I called, they couldn't find me in the system. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm 27. I've had a car for 11 years. What are you talking about? Big. I would really watch this again, day 3. And then day number 4, this is great to go back and watch because I released like 45 different projects that you can actually start to put in your portfolio. Now, I will be honest, Luna was definitely on that list. They did not expect that to happen. So just kind of disregard Luna until they figure out that. So I'd start right now, portfolio. Why? Because of current prices in the market. So like Ape at $8, even Ripple. I'm calling it. You're going to see Ripple. If Ripple goes back into the 30s, you're going to see this on Swipecoin as an exchange idea. And if you go back and watch day 1, I show you where you can get Ripple because right now you can't buy it on an exchange, but you can buy it through certain wallets. Go back and watch day 1. I mean, Solana goes in the 30s. You're going to see that. But this is a good example, right? Gala, I dropped on an exchange idea 2 nights ago at 5 cents, right? Gala came down, hit our 5-cent entry. It's a game of doubles, right? Some of the French team texted me that everybody took this idea. They doubled, right? From 5 cents to 10 and they closed. And if we come back to 5, they're going to reallocate again. So I'd focus now portfolio a little bit more than MetaTrader 4, but I would have some money in MetaTrader 4 to trade with a scalper.
Perfect. Awesome. Wow, man, I have so many questions that I want to ask, but yeah, I actually caught one almost. I haven't finished the second one. 2 days of that course. I haven't finished it yet. I'm going to finish it in the next few days. I definitely can, say to everybody on here, like, dude, the 4-hour course, however long he put it together, dude, you could finish that in a day if you're relatively serious. Like, dude, like definitely watch that this week, 100% for sure. Let's see.
And also sell it. Let me make a point there. Sell the course to the network. Okay. Hey, John, I got access to a $10,000 course. This is what I teach my team. And I can get it for you, bro, for $185. If you see value in it, then you can stay on our platform. Just a side note.
Yo, say that one more time. I need to hear it again, exactly how you worded it.
Super simple. So I believe I put tens of, probably 20, 30 hours into the course. Hey, John, I just got access, right, to a $5,000 to $10,000 course. In the course, we have a crypto educator that actually gives at the end a list of like 40 different projects that you can study. In his last list that he did in September, we had projects that, 3-4x. If I got you access to this course for $184, would you want to get started and go through this?
Wow. I love that. That is what I would call a power phrase. It's very easy to say yes to that, almost impossible to say no to that. That's fire. Let's see. What else? I think I want to ask, I want to talk about, like, I just made a video yesterday. I dropped it today. I talked about like DMOs, daily method of operation. And it's very easy to, look at what it is that you're doing now, but I'm actually more so curious about like when you were like, coming up, both on trading and the business, what were your DMOs like, and what were your, how did you really go out there and balance both trading and the business?
Yeah. So in the beginning, when I was brand new, I wouldn't say I was the most organized, but I was nonstop all day. So we'll do the DMOs in this company, because in other companies, you're just recruiting, you're just building the business, you're not really trading. So,
right.
When I got started, I would spend like 20, 30 minutes a day on Go Live, 40 minutes a day. So I would watch like a session a day, right? I wouldn't get so caught up in getting overwhelmed in trading. It's going to take time, but I would be practicing. So maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day. I would trade 2 to 3 days a week. I had some like really good traders in my team that said, Mike, you don't trade every day. People that trade every day, they're broke.
I'm really glad that you said this, because like people are like, oh, I'm on the charts, I got to trade. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. You're giving the market back money, or you're just going to lose money. You're just donating money. So don't be doing that. And then in the business, really everything, my morning routine, right? Reading, gym, all that stuff's done by noon. From noon to like 6 p.m., I'm on calls. I'm reaching outbound calls. Doing one-on-ones at Panera Bread, Starbucks. And then really from like 7 to 9, I'm in an event, right? 7 to maybe 9:30, I'm in an event, physical meeting 3 to 4 or 5 times a week. And then from 10 to like midnight, maybe like 10 to 11:30, even maybe 10 to 12, I'm on calls. And then like midnight, I try to like ramp it down. Sometimes you can't because you have international teams, but that's okay. But really that's the DMO. By noon, you want to have all your morning routine done. Reading, the gym, like at least by noon. Okay. I don't really like waking up too early. I do this business for freedom. So if I wake up at 9:30, 10, 10:30, I can get to the gym and be done by noon and 12:30. But if you have a job and you work 9 to 5, now you have to be strategic, because now you don't have time to slack when you get off of work, especially if you have kids. So from like that 8 to 11 window, maybe you put your kids down, and then maybe that's the time you're building your business through Zoom. Maybe you're going to a couple events a week.
That's crazy that you said that. Your schedule is almost identical to mine, from like time that you wake up to get everything out of the way to do your business out there. It's literally almost identical to mine, which is crazy. Perfect, man. Let's see. Other than that, you talked a little bit about building, internationally. I have a pretty good question. When it comes to some of the leaders within your organization, I'm curious how, how they say like you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards. And I take a look at some of the leaders that are in my organization. I'm like, dude, like if I told you how I met some of these people, you wouldn't even believe it. So I'm curious how you met some of your leaders? Was it through personal recruiting? Was it through taprooting? Maybe you could share some of their stories and how they met, because I always tell people that, like, if you plant enough seeds, it'll fall on good ground. If you share a good idea long enough, you're going to find the right people. You're going to find those aces in the deck of cards. But yeah, I'm curious to hear some of those stories.
Yeah. I mean, so, you have like Steve Max, for example, a chairman 10 in my team. Steve hit me up on Facebook, and there was a P1000 in my team, but he wasn't like being aggressive, and he wasn't like following up with Steve. And then Steve found out that I was the upline. So Steve messaged me on Facebook, and I left him on red for like 2 weeks by accident, because I was in Vegas and I was at GoPro, and I come home and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll meet up with you. And I thought he was going to sell me on another company. You know what I'm saying? Because he was in an insurance company. It starts with a P, and he was in that company. And we sat down, and he's like, look, bro, I want to learn about trading. He was involved in some like sketchy crypto company. I told him to get out, and he did. And literally that night, he messaged that other person who was the basically just the bridge. That person's not in the business anymore. He's quit. That person would have about 1,500 customers in his team, because that's Steve, Katie, and Elaine on one leg. And, God bless them. But that's how we found Steve, taprooted. And I was like on my third or fourth level. Like I enrolled somebody who then basically enrolled Steve. And then Steve basically a couple levels down. That's how we found Katie and Elaine. My Latin America team, Javier Vasquez, he had a business partner back in the day who might even be on my Instagram live right now. He knows who he is, who quit, who introduced me to Javier. Javier will be the leading educator. He's a Forex educator now in Spanish, but he's leading stocks and futures in the Spanish market. And in our company, he has one of the highest like certificates of stocks and futures in that whole game in Peru. So you guys will see him if you speak Spanish on SFX. And he's a Platinum 5000, but his business partner quit.
Wow.
So, and I enrolled his business partner. So it's just all these stories. I have my dad in the business who's a P2000. My younger brother is a P2000. But you don't really find like the next wave of chairman until it's like 4 to 6 levels deep.
Yeah. I love hearing those stories, man. I love hearing stories of like how you met those types of people, because you just could not have predicted it until it happens. You just got to have 100% faith and trust that it's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Only have like a few questions left. One that I think is really important is I want to know like what your biggest challenge to success was, or maybe there was a specific obstacle that you had that kind of held you back. Or maybe you were stuck at a specific level and like how you overcame it. Yeah. I want to basically know like what your biggest challenge to big success was.
Yeah. So I got to like, in my first company, I got to like 2,000 a month pretty quickly in my first like 6 months, maybe my first year. I got to like 4,000 a month in like a year and a half, right? It was called executive in that company. A little bit under P5000, but you had like 1,000 people in your team, but you'd only make like 4K a month. So for everybody who's in this company, don't take this for granted, please. Cause y'all really don't know. I know Cruiser, you were in another company and it was similar, right?
No, facts, 100%. The compensation plan here is insane. And but anyways, continue.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I got to like 2,000 a month, I got stuck there for a year, and I called my upline one time and I'm like, look, bro, nobody's working. My team is lazy as, nobody's working. I'm making all these excuses. And I built my business based around me, not around tools, not around video. Like we had videos, but everything was reliant on me. And he said something to me that changed my life. Well, first he cursed me out. Okay. This phone call changed my life though. And he said, Mike, you're being the P word. You're being the B word. You need to, get your shit together. And it was a really life-changing call. And I love him for this. I tell him this all the time, and we're still friends. And he said, Mike, number one is you're doing everything. You're not building independent leaders. You're doing everything with a phone call. Why? So he said, instead of telling people what to do, show them once, have them do it, you watch, and then you let them go. Some will figure it out. Some will die off. And then he said to me, you have to start to learn how to recruit up. At the time I was like 19 or 20 years old. I'm enrolling people who are 17, 8, or maybe like 18, 19 years old, kids.
Yeah.
Now majority of my business, and obviously because I'm older now, right? 27, I feel like I'm 40 in the industry, right? Not in real life, but in the industry terms, Now my business is like 30 plus is the average age. That's where you want to get to in your business. So he said, Mike, stop recruiting kids. He said, start enrolling professionals, start enrolling people that have a job, start enrolling people that can pay $184 a month for their auto ship or whatever it was, and taproot them. He said, when somebody gets in the business, you have, I don't know if you use this term in your last company, you know, this NPOM, right? A new possibility of momentum.
Bro, I talk about it all the time. New possibility of momentum. Yes.
You got to find them. You got to find those people. And you find them based on if they have influence. The easiest way to find if somebody has influence is look at their PRSV. If they don't have no PRSV, they have no influence. If they have PRSV in their first month, most likely you can work with those people.
Yeah. When I talk about new possibility of momentum, I say, yo, do they have contacts? Do they have lists? Can they easily make a list of 50 to 100? Do they have credibility? Do they have trust and influence with the people that they know? And then coachability. And then I always talk about how the new possibility of momentum, like, is not the new possibility of momentum until they have their first home event or Zoom and they hit P1, they have PRSB, literally exactly what you're saying. I break it down the exact same way. That's crazy. But I think last but not least, man, I think the last question that I want to ask is when it comes to like personal development, was there any types of like books or audios that you recommend that really shifted everything for you in the way that you think so that people can maybe pick up some of that along the way as well?
If you, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, if you are not yet Platinum 2000, put a 2 in the chat box. I want to see something real quick. If you just stop listening to everything else and you just study this until you get to 2000 a month, and then you listen to it again, this is the only thing you need. Okay. Stop listening to everything else. And all you need to do is study this audio. This is all I listen. I mean, I was in high school, bro, pulling up to school, blasting this in the damn car. And like the teachers would see me, you know, Jim Rohn, we talk about the rejection rocket. And like my friends thought I was weird as hell. My teammates thought I was like on crack. I was listening. I would go to games from high school, to baseball games, and I would have like people on my team who weren't in my company with me. And they're like, what are you listening to? I'm listening to Jim Rohn. And I listened to it every single day for like 90, maybe 120 days, 2 times a day. I'm going to share it with you guys one more time. This is all you need to study. You need to cut out everything else. You don't need to listen to no audios but this until you're making at least $2,000 a month. And if you get these things and you study,
one of the greatest recruiting attractions is the money you make part-time.
Like just that one sentence, we could do a 6-day seminar on. All you need to study is this. And if you do, and you apply it, and you don't try to be Jim Rohn when you teach it, but you apply the principles he teaches you, it's game over.
Man, the magic of part-time.
That's it. That's it. Don't quit your job at P150, bro. You have kids. What are you doing? So study that.
I did a call recently and I talked about the type of job you should have while building your business. I believe that there's a certain type of job that you should have. And what I kind of like broke down was like something that's not, you know, something where, you know, obviously, you need a basic source of income. So you need to obviously should be making more than enough money to pay the bills, but something that's also not extremely mentally draining. But also I see people working jobs with like crazy hours, which doesn't allow them to plug into anything. So I'm curious, what kind of job would you recommend people have in the beginning while they're going out there and learning how to trade and build?
Yeah. I mean, so if you want like a corporate environment, I think maybe even you got to find something that has a salary. So it has guaranteed income, right? If you're in sales, that could be good. But sometimes you get burned out. You're in sales there. You think you're in sales here. You can get burned out. So find something that has a salary where you do the least amount of work, right? Maybe you're a secretary. Maybe you are, you know, maybe you're younger on this call. Maybe you're a babysitter, something that's flexible, that has a salary potentially. There's some people on my team right now. They're like P600, P1K. They do Uber. And they make $100 a day, $200 a day. That's great. They can go do it whenever they want. But find something where you're not stressed, not where if you're in a toxic environment, like, look, I understand you need to make money, but a toxic environment in your work field will affect other areas of your life, and it'll affect your business. There'll be a cap on your business because your boss at TGI Fridays, you know, curses you out every day. Like, that's not okay. and don't let people disrespect you. So find something where you're in a good environment, uplifting environment. You know, I tell people I would rather you work 4 days a week, 10 hours, and then you have 3 days off to build your business. Find something like that. You know, if you're a real estate agent, maybe sell a house a month, you know, have a goal to. Should I quit Walmart? I can't answer that for you. You know,
that's
you're disrespecting you. I don't know.
Nah, but the reason I say that is because sometimes, a lot of times, you know, there are certain like jobs that I see that like hold people back. And I'm like, dude, like, unless you see yourself working there for long term, like, might want to look for something else. But yeah, that was pretty much it, man. So number one, thank you so much, bro. Got massive value myself. I wasn't able to take notes because I was like really trying to ask good questions, but I'm going to definitely rewatch this later on and do that. Repetition of information is everything. Any last closing thoughts or advice that you want to share for everybody to go out there and have the best year yet?
There's going to be the most opportunity in the next 24 to 36 months in crypto and real estate, in all these areas of our life. Our company is just the platform. It's the vehicle. You know, we're going into a lot of different arenas, real estate education. I mean, Chris Terry is working so much on the back end. So just know that you got to position yourself. It means nothing to you if the company goes to $1 billion and you're still a P150, just being honest. But if you have 1,000 customers in your organization or 2,000 customers, now we launch travel in a couple of weeks. We launch stocks and futures next. I mean, this is about to get crazy. You don't understand who we have coming in to the stocks and futures, right? Carolyn has been in the game for like 35 years. She's Chris Terry's mentor. Chris Terry's mentor is going to be on Go Live. Y'all understand that? Trading futures, okay? And stocks. We're about to go into so many different arenas, but it means nothing if you're not positioned. It means nothing if you're not willing to sacrifice. And it means nothing if you have no money and Bitcoin goes to 20K, right? People are like, it's going to go to 20K. Okay, great. How many will you be able to buy? Oh, none. Okay, great. You're going to miss it again. So focus on accumulation when there's the most opportunity, and, you know, go P1K, go hit your next rank, get your next rank done. We're 4 months away this weekend, convention in Phoenix. Are you going to go to this event? I'm not going to the event if I'm the same damn rank. I'm just being straight up. I'm not showing up. Education Day, that's not happening. I'm not going, because if I'm at Chairman 25, we have 4 months to really focus. And in Phoenix, I believe this company is really going to come out. It's going to be the coming out party for our company. So I appreciate the invitation, bro, for this call. What's up, Kiani? What's up, Borja? I see the OGs on here. OGs, great organization.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Everybody here has a lot of love and has gotten massive value tonight. And yeah, if you guys got some value, everyone already said everything in the chat, but yo, drop some 777s in the chat for Mike. Go back to his last post on Instagram, show him some love on Instagram, and make sure you guys watch that course. I'm telling you, I'm almost halfway done with it. You know, this is something that I'm gonna be recommending to everybody. And yeah, man, we appreciate everything that you do for the company. Obviously, you do not have to be here at all, and you've just provided so much value. So thank you. With that being said, everybody who tuned in, appreciate y'all for tuning in for the last 45 minutes. You guys have an amazing rest of your guys' night. And then we're going to do this again next week with another chairman and or educator. Love you guys all, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.